I was reclining against the worn oak bar, enjoying a cold beer and chatting with my friends when it happened again. That same blinding flash of light engulfed me, and I found myself standing in the familiar glowing circle. The same Allison stood there with his book, and the same purple-robed enigmatic figure surrounded us, candles in hand. "Hey, Allison," I greeted. "Hi, Joseph," Allison replied as the glowing circle faded. "Sorry to bother you, but we have a problem." "So what's up?" I asked. "Her Highness wanted to summon both of you. She feels you may need help with this one." "Cool." The ceremony began again. It was always interesting to watch, though I had to stifle my laughter. The chanting and dancing were pretty hilarious. Suddenly, a column of infernal red flames leapt up, completely filling the glowing circle. When it faded, a very wet Livia stood there, hastily wrapping a towel around herself. "God damn it! I was taking a shower, you guys!" she yelled. Then she looked over at me. Hey, I said, taking off my chambray shirt and handing it to her. "Thanks. Now all of you get out of here so I can change," she demanded. "All right, Allison, lead the way," I said, ready to get going. I crawled out of the cave, coughing as I emerged into the hellish cartoon light. "You guys enlarged the entrance." "Nice," I commented, adjusting to the light. When my eyes finally adjusted, there she was, the Queen, as beautiful as ever. "Greetings, Sir Joseph," she said, bowing her head slightly. "Hiya, Your Highness," I replied with a bow. "Please, dispense with such formalities," she said. "We have selfishly torn you from your life once again." Wasn't really doing anything. Same can't be said for her, though," I said, gesturing at Livia, who was trailing a stream of profanity as she crawled out of the tunnel. "I am most sorry for the imposition, Lady Livia." "Well, at least I'm not naked." "Thanks, Joss," she said, wringing out my damp shirt. "No worries," I said, turning back to the Queen. "So what's up?" The Queen lowered her head sadly. "An alien dragon. A dragon most fearsome has descended upon my lands and runs unchecked throughout my realm," she said. "It is robbing my people of their belongings and livestock and has now said that it will start killing if I don't give it the royal treasury." "Sounds like a prick most disagreeable fellow," I replied. "So how big is it?" "It is roughly your size, perhaps a little larger, and it breathes fire. It is terrifying to behold." "Sounds like it. I guess we need to go and take a look." "Hey," Livia said, "could you send me back for a little bit? I need to change. I only need an hour or so." "Allison," the Queen said, gesturing towards Livia. Allison nodded and recited an incantation. "I'll only be an hour," Livia said as she faded from view. "Okay, let's go," I said to the Queen. "Should we not wait for Lady Livia?" I started. "Livia is, well, not as fearsome a demon as you might think. It might be best to go ahead without her." "Well, if you are certain, Sir Joseph." After a short hike, we arrived at a hole crudely dug into the side of a large hill. "He's in there, Sir Joseph," the Queen said, gesturing towards the tunnel. "Hey, alien dragon!" I yelled. "Yeah, you in the hole. I want to talk to you." There was no response. "Hey! I know you are in there. I want to talk about what you are doing here." Still no response. "I'm not going away. I'll be here till you come out." Nothing was happening. I waited a while and then threw a stone into the tunnel. "You scared or something?" I yelled once again. This time, a gout of flame roared out of the hole. "Yep, he's home all right. That fire's gonna be a problem," I said, gesturing to my shirtless body. The Queen suddenly turned away. "Hey, Allison, anything in that magic book that can do anything about fire?" I asked. "Oh, yes, Sir Joseph. I can shield you from the dragon's flame," he replied. "Cool, hook me up." "What are you planning on doing, Sir Joseph?" the Queen asked cautiously. "I'm going to go in there and knock some reason into its scaly back." "Are you certain? Even shielded from its hellish flames, it is still a fearsome beast." Yeah, I thought to myself. I'm here in the land of ponies and cuddles. How bad can it be? I will be okay, Your Highness. Don't worry. Your bravery will be recorded in song and verse for all time, she replied, blushing slightly. Okay, be back in a minute. I stooped a little and walked inside. My demon eyes quickly adapted to the darkness, and I walked downwards into the earth. The tunnel opened into a chamber large enough for me to stand upright. There, in the middle of a ring of evil-looking green glowing rocks, was a big lizard with big claws and a big mouth with big teeth. Well darn. That was just a little bit fearsome. It opened one eye at me and hissed, letting out a stream of smoke. That helped my breathing, at least. Who dares to disturb the slumber of the great Draker? The alien dragon asked. It would be me, pal. It stretched out, arching its back like a cat. Okay, it was a bit bigger than I thought. It's a bigger lizard with bigger claws. Its big mouth with big teeth looked about the same though. So the pitiful creature summoned a demon, a pathetic one at that, it said disdainfully. Considering the fight I was about to get into, I was starting to agree with it. While I was standing there planning on exactly how I was going to take on this beast, it stood up. Now it was an even bigger lizard. Its big claws and its big mouth with big teeth thankfully didn't grow much. I might be in trouble here, I murmured to myself. Perhaps if I feel inclined, the alien dragon replied with a snarl. Okay, now this was definitely not looking good. Okay, pal, I'm trying to be nice here, I said, using my best bouncer voice. We don't want no trouble. If you leave, this doesn't have to be ugly. Admittedly, after the last exchange, this didn't come across as strong as it otherwise would. Oh, but I like ugly. I like it very much. After I kill you, I will go out and show these pathetic creatures what ugly is. I was just going to rob them, but now, well, examples have to be set and all that. We started to circle each other. You gonna be a coward and breathe fire? Breaking the spell on you would be tiresome, and I prefer tearing my prey apart, it said. Well, at least we have something in common. It charged. I'd like to say that I blocked it or dodged or something, but it hit me like a freight train. I was hurled around the chamber like a rag doll as it gleefully battered me for a while. Not sure what fighting a wood chipper would feel like, but I do know what fighting an alien dragon feels like. It stinks. Oh, don't get me wrong, I got a few licks in there, but eventually, I was on my back grappling with its two front claws. It just laughed at me. Yes, try to fight. It amuses me. I could just kill you now. One bite and it would be over, but I think I will use just these two claws. Don't do me any favors, buddy, I said, spitting out some blood from my split lip. With that, I managed to kick myself free and get my hands around its neck. It returned the favor. That lizard's claws were like iron. I wasn't going to win this strangling match. It could have broken my neck there and then, but I guess it felt like playing with me. It started squeezing, slowly. Yes, it hissed as it rolled back on top of me. Feel your life slowly. Hey! Big guy! Livia yelled as she entered the chamber. Run! I managed to gurgle. Who dares disturbing me? The dragon screamed. I was completely confused until I felt a familiar pain. Bear mace. Yep. It was definitely bear mace. There is no mistaking bear mace. The alien dragon screamed, fire blasting forth in all directions. Do you have any idea what this clean air does to a demon's lungs? There was a lot of cursing after that. My vision finally cleared, and I saw a fully armored figure with a can of bear mace in one hand and a long wooden stick, with a basket hilt, beating the daylights out of what now looked to be a big green beanbag huddling in the corner. Please, I'm sorry, please. Do you think I care? Know what, I'm feeling nice. I'll give you a choice. Livia snarled. Do you want some more of this? She asked as she raised the bear mace. Or do you want some more of this? She asked as she raised the stick. The alien dragon just cringed. Can't make up your mind? Livia asked in a sinister voice. I guess that means you get both. Please. Stop. I'll leave. I swear I will leave and never come back, the alien dragon cried. Not sure I believe you, Livia said. The beating and spraying continued. Finally, the seemingly endless can of bear mace stopped with a weak hum. The alien dragon looked up hopefully. I thought that may happen. That's why I brought more. She reached back into a bag and pulled out another can. The alien dragon actually burst into tears. Okay, now I believe you. Get out of here. I will, just let me. The alien dragon looked back at his horde. Why are you looking at my gold that way? I got student loans to pay. Wanna complain about it? She asked as she raised the bear mace and the stick. No! I'm going! Please! Let me go! Please! Okay, go. And while you are curling up around your big pile of NO gold, you think about what you did. Oh, and if your scaly butt ever shows up around here again, I'm going to use this, she said as she drew a real sword and flashed it in his face. Got it? Yes, mistress, I dash. Less talking, more running. And with that, the alien dragon ran so fast he kicked up dirt the whole way out of the lair. Livia then turned to me and raised the bear mace. And you ditching me? Please, mistress, I cried. We both broke down laughing. Thank God you showed up. I was about to be a dragon's victim, I said as she helped me up. By the way, what the heck? I said, gesturing to her outfit. Oh, I joined the GCA, she said matter-of-factly as she removed her full-face helmet. Figured this might happen again, so you joined a bunch of widows who run around hitting each other with sticks? Saved your butt, didn't it? And we are not weirdos. We just appreciate medieval stuff. You should come and check it out. Lord knows you need it. Yeah, I guess I do, don't I said with a cough. Nice armor, by the way. Thanks. Do you know how many feet picks it took to? Just kidding, it was an extra job. I staggered out into the hellish light, and the queen rushed over with concern. I guess she wasn't used to seeing something like the complete and total beating I received. Well, seeing something like the complete and total beating plus bear mace. Sir Joseph. Yup. Fearsome beast. Yep. Fearsome beast. You did not lie, fearsome B-dash. I think I'm going to go lie down over here for a little while, I said, staggering over to a particularly soft-looking hillside and collapsing. I awoke a little while later, fully healed. The queen looked relieved, and Allison looked completely exhausted. Hey, I said groggily. Allison, you didn't have to do that. Not the first beating I've been handed. I would have been fine. Her Majesty insisted, Allison said with a weary smile. Forgive us, but we started the feast without you. Livia said she was, really hungry. Yeah, probably best to feed her. She was a little annoyed. Yes, we heard it from outside, the queen said with a laugh. A few of my soldiers fled. After an amazing feast, which I totally regretted later, Livia returned all of the loot stolen from the kingdom. There was still a very impressive pile left. Looks like I'm gonna get that nice custom suit of full plate I was lusting after, Livia said with a grin. Looks like. Here, she said, handing me a double handful of gold. Gonna need some decent gear if they need us again. Thanks, Livia, I exclaimed in shock. It was a big handful of gold. I looked over at her. So, what exactly is the GCA anyway? She took a deep breath and looked at me with excited eyes. Well, she started. I sat back and relaxed. I think she was going to be talking for a while. The GCA, or Group for Creative Anachronism, is a group of people who are dedicated to researching and recreating the arts and skills of pre-17th century Europe, Livia explained. We participate in tournaments, royal courts, feasts, dancing, various classes and workshops, and more. Sounds pretty intense, I said. It can be, but it's also a lot of fun. You get to dress up in period costumes, learn about history, and meet some really interesting people. Plus, it's a great way to blow off some steam, Livia replied. I can see that, I said, thinking back to how she had handled the alien dragon. We have different kingdoms all over the world, and each kingdom has its own events and activities. There are also big events where people from all the kingdoms come together. You should come to one sometime, Livia suggested. Maybe I will, I said. After seeing you in action, I might need to get myself some armor. Definitely. And don't worry, I'll help you get started. We can even get you a cool title, Livia said with a wink. Sounds like a plan, I said with a smile. Eventually, it was time to return home. Allison performed the incantation, and Livia and I found ourselves back in the bar, exactly where we had been before the summoning. Well, that was an adventure, Livia said, looking around to make sure no one had noticed our absence. Yeah, it was, I agreed. And next time, I'll be better prepared. Good. Because I have a feeling there will be a next time, Livia said with a grin. As we settled back into our bar stools, I couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement. Life was never dull when you had a best friend like Livia and a whole other world waiting for you on the other side of a summoning circle.